What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Hope you guys had a fantastic holiday. Hope you guys have enjoyed week 17 so far. We are down 6 games already, but we still have a full Sunday slate. We got a Monday night game, and it has been all over the place. Been a little bit of a mess, tons of injuries, some big performances, a lot of disappointing performances, but nonetheless, down 6 games with a full slate to go. It's championship weekend, so you guys know exactly what we're going to do. We're going to hop into some live fantasy Q&A, whatever you guys need, starts, sits, last minute ad drops, dynasty questions, any week 17 questions, any fantasy football questions, any NFL topics that you guys have. Get in the live chat. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to talk some fantasy football. Like always, we got Pete in the house. What is going on?
Not much. You know what? It was a good day for me today in the catch championship. I am thanks to Joe the Goat Burrow and Mr. Goat Higgins over here with an 83 piece. I'm sure everybody's feeling good. Lots of fantasy points in the first 2 games. Not so much in this third game, but it's been I can't believe it. It's here. It's over. We just got 2 more days of fantasy realistically. I mean, I'm sure somebody's playing in week 18, but this is the home stretch.
Yeah, it was it's been up and down, since Christmas Day. It's been a weird week. Like, I think for a lot of fantasy football players, because Monday Night Football ended, and we had Tuesday, which was Christmas Eve. Then it was Christmas, but we had 2 games, and then we had the worst Thursday night football game ever, and then we had 3 games today, and now we got the rest of the slate starting tomorrow. But it's also like I swear I didn't check half my lineups. I did actually late Christmas Eve, and I benched Xavier Worthy for George Pickens in the championship, but nonetheless, like, it just felt like so many injuries, like so much going on, and it's just been such a miscalculated week. I really feel like for the fantasy championship, this is like the worst setup possible for a week of fantasy. But looking at the Christmas Day games, like, it wasn't too bad, but it was still bad. Like, Xavier Worthy had a big game, Kelsey, Mahomes had a big game. Basically, everyone else in that game was trash. Nico Collins a bad day, Joe Mixon a bad day, Dalton Schultz didn't do anything. CJ Stroud was still bad. Isaiah Pacheco, nothing. Kareem Hunt, nothing. Like, just bad, right? Hollywood Brown, if you risked him, not good. Hopkins, not good. And then I'm talking about 2 different games. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Chiefs and Texans backwards here, but still,
it was all bad on Christmas.
Yeah. Well, if you had most of the Ravens, it was like half good, half bad. Like, Lamar Jackson was good, Henry was good, but Zay Flowers did nothing. Andrews had a good game, Bateman didn't do anything, so it wasn't like too bad. But and then for the Steelers, like, yeah, they were basically non-existent. So up and down. And like, did you watch the games? Did you not watch the games? Were you opening presents? It's like, were you drunk? Were you full of food? Like, it's like, and then Thursday night, like, what was that? I think like
I forget that was even this week. I forget. Yeah. That might be the worst game of the season.
It might be. DJ Moore had 12 points, Swift had 12 points, and that was like it. Like, it. And then today started off with like the beginning of the Chargers Patriots game. Like, there's a little bit of something going on. Then the Chargers just pulled completely away. But Dobbins had a good game. Lad McConkey had a huge game. Herbert had a good game. Demario Douglas, but like, it just wasn't. Like, the Chargers defense had 10 points, I think, on average. Then we got the good game. Broncos Bengals was great. For most of the starters, like I know Chase Brown, for dynasty owners, you're maybe concerned, but he'll be fine by next season.
He looked okay. He didn't look that bad. Like, he was limping around, but he wasn't like, it looked like his knee blew up for a second.
Yeah. But Burrow, like you said, Burrow and Higgins, on average, if you started both of them, you had like 82 points, which is good. Chase still had a huge game without scoring. Chase Brown was good enough.
Gesicki had a solid day.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good matchup, right? Sutton, good enough there. You probably didn't start Marvin Mims, but maybe you did in some sort of format. So it was good for all the primary starters in that matchup. And then, yeah, like you said, this game that just happened. I mean, like Puka, a good game. Marvin Harrison Jr. actually came through. Kyler was fine. Cup was bad again, and Cup was somebody who I stuck with in this matchup if I had him. And yeah, Cup. I don't know what happened to Cup in the fantasy. Cup might be the biggest bust of the fantasy playoffs. Literally had less than 10 points through 3 straight games. So that sucks. And then Kyron Williams had a good game. So I mean, as expected, So yeah, it was a bit up and down, and it's just been a weird week. A lot of players ruled out throughout the week. James Conner was ruled out, then he played, then he got hurt again. Tony Pollard's ruled out. Anthony Richardson is ruled out. Tua's probably not going to play. Alvin Kamara's out. Jalen Hurts is out. David Njoku's out. Cade Otton. Like, I mean, we're just all over the place. CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors is questionable. Like, it's a bit of a mess going into week 17 when we need no messes championship weekend. So with all that being said, we hope you guys had a great Christmas. Hope you guys are looking forward to a great New Year's. And let's get in to some fantasy Q&A for week 17. Okay. Chase, what's up, my dude? Hello. Sean, James Conner, bad move. I mean, yeah, it's like, what were you supposed to do? I mean, it wasn't the worst matchup here, and he's been a stud all season long. He was deemed, and that's the thing. Like, he probably really only played due to incentives. And it's just one of those things. What are you supposed to do? I mean, it's always hindsight's 2020. It's a bad start, but hard to say. And like Michael Carter didn't look that bad. He had 10 fantasy points. So Connor probably would have had a solid game if he didn't. I don't know if he re-aggravated it or what.
I think it was a re-aggravation.
That's what I thought. But it happens, and that's the thing. Like this week, you're gonna you're gonna look at everything so much closer until like Sunday night comes at least, or until Monday's here, because we had so many games before the Sunday slate. It's just like, when the Rams-Niners game happened the other week and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like I lost already. It's like, well, you never really know. I mean, we could see more players bust tomorrow and get hurt than what we saw in the last 6 games. So it's hard to say. All right, Jennings or Adam Thielen? Man, I'm really back and forth on Jennings this week. It is a good matchup, and that Lions defense is banged up. I just don't know what to do with this Niners team. I really don't. George Kittle's about the only guy I trust. I really like Thielen this week. I just really do.
We also don't know like what the Lions are going to be doing. Like if Minnesota wins, Lions could easily just rest because the game is meaningless at that point. But Green Bay wins, Lions are coming for blood.
Yeah. And I think that the Niners will push back a little bit in this.
I think this is the Niners Super Bowl at this point. Like they have to not fold this year.
I feel like the Niners hate the Cowboys, the Eagles, their divisional opponents, and the Lions. So I don't really know why, but they've been a good defense, believe it or not. Their run defense has really fallen back, but like in terms of fantasy points allowed, like they're top 10 against quarterbacks and wide receivers. So it's hard to say there, but doesn't really matter for this question. I just have been I think Thielen's floor is so safe. Last time he played the Bucks, he had a big day. They're 22nd against wide receivers. It's just, I'll say Thielen for the floor. The upside is with Jennings, but I'd probably start Thielen personally. Bench one, Reed, Jacoby, or Devonta. Yeah, I think Devonta and AJ Brown will be okay with Kenny Pickett at quarterback, but I feel better about Brown compared to Devonta. I think Reed's either gonna have a really good game or just like an okay game, Matchup is there. The Packers should be forced to throw. Minnesota good against the run. Should be good game script. But Jacoby's got a great matchup. It's just like some of these games that have no meaning, we're going to get really good fantasy stat lines out of, or you're going to get really bad stat lines out of, And there might not be a more meaningless game ever than the Raiders and Saints this weekend.
I don't know. Jags Titans is pretty bottom of the barrel too.
That's up there. But it's a great matchup for Jacoby. Not a bad matchup for Devonta. It was a great matchup for Reed. So, I think I would roll with Reed and Devonta Smith because there's more on the line for the Packers and Eagles this week. So, the thing like you see with these type of games for the Raiders and Saints, like you might see Jacoby Myers get like 3 touchdowns, or he could have 3 catches. It's weird. I feel like the more solid game scripts are Packers, Vikings, Eagles, Cowboys. So I'll go with those 2 guys.
The problem is like what idiot Packer receiver is going to be your receiver. Like we just don't know. One of them will probably have a great day. The other 2, who knows if Watson even plays.
Yeah, Watson might miss. Which wouldn't, but then Dontavian Wicks, he scored a touchdown last week.
Who knows? It's Green Bay receiver. Like they're the worst. They're the worst to deal with in fantasy. Yeah. You always pick the wrong one.
Yeah. So Jacoby's still solid here. It's just like it's close there, and I've kind of just all week I've had this feeling about Jaden Reed. I think it's gonna be a game where he shows up, but that's just literally like me, like nothing. There's stuff to support that, but I would be willing to risk him because I think he's got a good amount of upside. But that's a good question, Chase. Ghost Hunter says T. Higgins to the moon. He's already there. He is there. What's going on, Orac? Started Connor and Higgins, so I don't know how to feel.
Okay, I would feel okay.
Yeah, you can think of this like Connor had a low floor game, 10 points, and Higgins had 30 points. It's like you're fine. Probably still projected to win, I would think. Tommy, what's going on, man? I faced Burrow and Puka. I had Kyron already played JSN, Charb, and Schultz. Not good. Need the most upside, McMillan or 8-chain with no 2-0. Yeah, so I will talk about this in tomorrow's video. So 8-chain with Tyler Huntley at quarterback because that's who. If Tua doesn't play, that's who they're saying is going to start. So it was weeks 4, 5, and 7. They're on bye week in week 6. Really weird stat lines. 2.7, but I think he got hurt in week 5 against the Patriots. And then he played after the bye, if I'm not mistaken. 10.5, 26.7. So, I think 8-chain's fine. This is such a weird game because it's not a meaningless game for the Dolphins.
They have to win.
Yeah, they have to win. And the Browns are 9th against running backs, but 8-chain's one of these guys. He'll get involved other ways. But then Tua's not playing, so it is weird. But I think if I got 8-chain, I'm playing him. I'm feeling pretty old school. Trust your studs this weekend. And although Cooper Kupp failed me, I think 8-chain I would place. I'm the least worried about 8-chain. And Johnny Smith was really good with backup quarterbacks. Go ahead.
It's just also weird because Huntley, remember, he was traded from Cleveland to the Dolphins, and it was kind of like, so maybe week 7's maybe our best indicator what it's going to look. I assume it's going to look a lot better than what we saw early in the year. And 8-chain just going to catch 1,000,000 passes. I wish we could look at running back receptions for the Browns defense. Are they terrible covering the running backs over here? We need to get some PFF stats out because that's their matchup.
It's probably out there somewhere. But 8-chain's been so good. I think I'm playing 8-chain. I do like McMillan this week for sure, but I think he's more of a floor. And now Kate Otton's out, Shepard's out. I do think that we're going to see nice volume to McMillan, but I would still start.
Needs 200 yards though, so they're gonna force feed. He's got to get that 1,000 yards in there.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I think the Panthers are going to make that a competitive game.
I'm officially on the Panthers bandwagon with my spicy. Sure. They're just spicy boys every week. Ruin people's lives, and they're honestly very solid fantasy football team for all of us.
Yeah, except Chuba's out.
R.I.P. He
That's
went
another
down a
one.
champ. He went down a champ though. He was
Yeah,
awesome.
he did have the best game of his life. Quail Man at the bottom of the chat, start one. Who's a good one? Thank you for the super chat. Spears, Rashad White, or Garando. This is interesting. I still like Rashad White a lot this week. I won't be surprised, as we were just talking about. I mean, that's going to be competitive game script. I won't be surprised if he sees plenty of involvement. He's still at 8 targets, 7 catches last week. I know he had the fumble. It was really bad. He's still at 11 fantasy points. He does have 2 lost fumbles in the last 2 games, but I still like Rashad White. I still think he'll get you 10 to 15 points. But I'm starting Tajay Spears if I got Tajay Spears. Smash matchup. I put him in the must start video, and I thought Pollard was going to play when I put him in that video. Pollard's out. It might feel like a trap, but I would the 2 players who feel like traps this week that I'm starting are Tajay Spears and Chicken Conquo. Great matchups. Jags are giving up the 31st most fantasy points to running backs, 2 touchdowns in each of his last 2 games, 21 or more fantasy points. I'm going Tajay. I'm risking it. The upside's too high for me. White would be my floor play. The upside would be with Spears. Garando's the odd man out here for me. So, but he is going to start, and Patrick Taylor is not. And the Lions are banged up, but they've still been very good against the run. So, give me Tajay. Thank you for the question. Let us know if you need anything else. All right, let's see. Chig or Hawk? I'm going Chig. I'm going Chig. Happy PR. I don't care what it is. I'm going Chig. I benched Hawkinson in one league for Chig.
No reason to play him. You know, Alexander's ducking those wide receivers for a reason. Like those Addison and JJ are going to have your days in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's not playing, right?
Duck.
Yep.
Let's get duck emojis in the chat.
Duck emojis for G.R. Alexander.
J.R. Alexander's ducking.
Chicken Conco is a tight end 1 over the last 2 weeks. Okay.
And Mason Rudolph's like trying to be the starting quarterback for the Titans next year. So he's going, and I feel like Brian Callahan's kind of coaching for his job, maybe. Like he might he might be on the hot seat. So the Titans have to try it. They don't care about a draft pick. They're not getting a quarterback. Go win a game. Go win a football game.
He has 21 targets his last 2 games. So I'm going Chig. Listen, and I said it in the Sneaky Starts video. If Chig loses me my fantasy championship, I don't care. I am in on the Chig and Conquo train in week 17. All right, Spears or Hall? That's tough. That's tough. Because that Buffalo run defense is bad. It's just bad. And I think Brees is the floor. Spears is the upside. So depends on what you need here. But I think Brees will be good. He'll be good. And I do think that the Jets are going to come out here and try and make this tough for the Bills. We'll see if they succeed, but yeah, both are good starts though. Chase, Brian Robinson, or Jacoby. I would probably lean Jacoby. I don't like this Eagles run defense. Oh, Falcons run.
Playing the Falcons.
Eagles was last week is what I was thinking, and I didn't like that. And he had an awful game last week.
He had 2 fumbles, but maybe a little bounce back spot for him. They get him the touchdown, get him feeling good if they can.
Even if he didn't have the fumbles, he still would have had only like 6 points. I mean, the Falcons secondary is awful, but that run defense is not bad. And this is a home game for the
it's in Washington. It's in Washington. Sunday night in Washington.
There's this weird thing with home games where like the running back of the home team like always has a higher chance to score, I feel like. So I just don't know if he has a great amount of upside, but I don't know. Jacoby has the matchup. I'll put it that way, but we already talked about Jacoby earlier. I think if it's like PPR and you're looking at a flex, I would flex Jacoby personally. Started Dobbins over Spears. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Dobbins had a good game. I was too scared to start Dobbins. I didn't start him in the league I have him in the championship, and I honestly kind of forgot to.
I got a little worried when he threw that second touchdown to McConkey. I was like, oh, they're kind of up. They're like up 30 or whatever. It's like they got to get Dobbins in the end zone. We're trying to get our guy back in, and they did. Like the Chargers looking real scary right now. That's a whole different conversation.
Getting hot at the right time for sure. The defense showing back up. The defense had been slipping.
And Justin Herbert looking like old Justin Herbert. He was dealing today. And of course, I sat him for Stafford. Yeah. Oh, LOL.
Such is life. Most passing yards through the first 5 seasons of all time. Beat Peyton Manning's record. More games though, so it doesn't
barely.
Count. Yeah.
Barely.
Tommy still has Allen, Gibbs, BTJ, and A-Chain. Yeah, you got a chance. You got a chance. You always have a chance. Already won 3rd in my league last week. Just want to thank you all for the help. You are very welcome. Was 8th seed, dethroned the 1st seed. Very nice. Top 3 picks were all injured. Still surprised. 3rd is not bad. Most leagues have a payout for 3rd place. If they don't, talk to your commissioner. It should. Every league, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the losers bracket winner should at least get their buy-in back so that there's some sort of competitiveness throughout the entire league. Okay, Quailman at the bottom of the chat again. Start one, Ford or Dowdle? I think I go Ford.
Yeah, Eagles run defense is awesome. No CeeDee Lamb. Feels like it's going to be like Jake Ferguson and Cooper Rush show.
Yeah, I Dowdle's a desperation start for me this week. Like I'm starting in my 16-man league where I have Dowdle, Chuba, and A-Chain, and that is it. No one on waivers. So I would not be going on my way to start Dowdle. I don't love Ford. Like you take away the big run last week, he didn't really do anything, and I don't like this Browns offense very much right now. This Dolphins defense, I think will have a nice day, but I think Ford will do enough. I would start him over Dowdle, I think. And at least the Browns are at home. Thielen or Addison as well. That's tough, but I think I have to go Addison.
Too much on the line in that matchup.
Yeah, I think I got to go Addison. I really like Thielen, but Addison's above in terms of whatever tiers we're looking at. I'd go Addison. All right, Tommy, most upside, Miami, Indy, or Raiders? These were my top 3 defenses in the defense video. I still think I'm rolling Miami, but I really like Indy. Those two are...
Yeah, I was going to say, like, upside, like, Indy, just because we saw 2 pick sixes last week.
Yeah.
But DTR is terrible. 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions. He's also hurt, and Jameis Winston's also hurt. So it's going to be like Bailey Zappi potentially, which that could be good.
If there's an update on that.
You just worry about Winston. If Winston comes back in, you're flipping a coin on Miami. Sure. Could be great, could be awful.
Yes, they at least have DTR starting.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Winston still listed as questionable, then Zappi's obviously good. So, but yet, I think the Raiders are a lower kind of tier. Like they have some upside. They're going up against there's no offense for the Saints. There's nothing. But I would rather start Miami or Indy. But it's a bit of a coin flip. They're my 2 favorite streams this week, though. So. I mean, if you can pick from all 3, then you're in a pretty good spot. And I did have the Rams defense in the video as well, who had 14 points. Just want to point that out because I got a lot of hate on the defense video this week. I think because I talked about Atlanta, which is fair, but nonetheless, I think I lean Miami, but I like Indy. Like literally, it's a coin flip. I like both a lot. What do you think Jaden Daniel is going to do? Speaking of Atlanta, I mean, it doesn't. You just have to start him. Like, unless you had Burrow, you have Allen, you have Hurts is out. You had Lamar, maybe Baker, maybe Bo Nix, but no. Like you got Jaden Daniels. He's going to have a good game. This is a good matchup for the passing game here. Primetime game, playoff implications for both teams. Can the Commanders, they can win that division, right?
Not really. They technically can, but I don't.
So the Eagles would have to lose out.
The Eagles would have to lose out, and then I think it's also
Divisional
like,
wins.
yeah, I don't know. Haven't looked into that with that one.
I
It's
think
there.
they.
It's pretty tall task.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I think the Eagles have to lose out, and then the Commanders have to beat Dallas in Week 18 on top of that. I think that's the only way. So, and I don't even know if that's true. I'm just looking at it because anyways, um, they're still the Commanders are still going to try and win this game for sure. So
Yeah, because they're not in the playoffs yet. Commanders have to win to get in. They can miss the playoffs still.
yeah, they
Tampa Bay and
wow.
Atlanta. Tampa Bay and Atlanta can get them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. So yeah, Jay Daniels gonna have a good game. Don't overthink it. Played T and Trey. Yeah. So did I see that right? Trey McBride broke the record for most receptions ever
He
without a.
broke it last week. He had 89 or 2 weeks ago. It's
Oh,
89.
I thought he's just adding to the record.
Yes,
Okay.
adding 98 receptions before, or 97 receptions before his first receiving touchdown.
Okay.
But he didn't hit 100. If it would have been like 99 and then his 100th was a touchdown, that would have kind of been fun.
Yeah, and like they were really trying to get him to score tonight, but he did, which is good for fantasy.
Should have had two.
I didn't
Second
think
one
he
hit
was
him in the
going to do it.
face.
I know, yeah, that one did.
Kyler uncorked one on him a little bit.
Sorry. Ghost Hunter had Lamar, Sutton, DJ, and T. Not bad. Still have Scary Terry, Gibbs, Cook. Whoever my tight end is, Bass in Miami defense. Yeah, I think you're in a good spot here. You're already up by 26.
Judy's shouldn't do anything.
Yeah, you're who you have left is much better than
and I kind of hate Jake Elliott this week too.
Yeah, no hurts. I'm not overly like I think Philadelphia's defense will be good. But I don't know if they have a tremendous amount. Oh, I don't know. CeeDee Lamb's out.
If CeeDee Lamb was in, this thing could be open season. This game could be in the 30s.
I take that back. I like Philly, but I also have a weird feeling that it might be a floor play divisional matchup. But anyways, like I do like Reed, but yeah, I mean you got studs here. Terry, Gibbs, Cook. Can you pick up Chicken Conqua? Steve, Josh Allen, or Goff? I'm going Allen. I'm still going Josh Allen. Yeah. Evening play Chig, Hawkinson, or Kraft? Chig. Riding or dying with Chig. Flex McMillan or Downs? I'd flex McMillan. I'm avoiding the Colts with Flacco. Like I mean, you never know. But I just no, thank you. Giants pass defense not that bad. They've looked kind of bad lately, but they're not that bad on the season. All right, RJ, full PPR, Garrett Wilson or James, probably JMO for me, even if you're starting Gibbs. And yeah, I haven't looked at the weather report.
Weather's bad in a lot of places. Like,
yeah,
not super cold, but pretty rainy across the East Coast and the Midwest.
And like, I think I'm going to stick with the don't overthink the rain thing. I mean, like the Chargers Patriots game was a 100% chance of rain today.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. It's fine. It's usually like NFL players can play in the rain. You know, it's usually like a combination of conditions. Like
it depends on the team, though. Like a good team can play. Like bad, if we get like tight, like Dolphins, Browns in the rain is a little scary.
That's true. Waddle's banged up. Hill's banged up.
HA just might have to run 40 times. They might just run HA 40 times and hope for the best.
That game's got a 26% chance of rain.
That's good. That improved. It was like 75 earlier in the week, I think. So it's gone down. That is
Falcons
good.
Commanders.
It was supposed to rain in Cincy tonight too. So
yeah, see, like Falcons Commanders has the worst forecast other than the Chargers Patriots, which is not. So I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna worry about it. There'll probably be one game affected, at least realistically. The one thing with the Falcons Commanders is it's the night game and it's going to be raining all day, so that could impact things. But anyways, getting back to your question, I think I'd take the upside and go JMO. Garrett Wilson does have the better matchup though. So floor Wilson, upside JMO. Jonnu or Chig? Now there's a question. I think I'd still play Jonnu.
Oh.
Yeah. But the upside's with Chig for sure. But like I said, Johnny was fine. He actually really started to get rolling when Huntley was quarterback, you know. I think I'd still play Jonnu. Especially I think Hill's gonna play, but Hill's banged up. Waddle's probably not gonna play, but he does have a chance. I think I'll go Jonnu. Week 17, half PPR pick 2. Hall, A-Chain. Baller's not playing. It's Hall and A-Chain for me. Yeah, Hall and A-Chain. Pollard's out. I wouldn't start forward over those two. All right, let's see. Probably gonna start Bucky over A-Chain, also Jacobs and Barkley. That's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine. He's playing the Panthers, so
The worst run defense, right? One of them at least.
they are the worst. Yeah, giving up the most fantasy points on the season to running backs. So,
and they haven't gotten better with everything else getting better in Carolina. They have not gotten better against the run.
No. So, yeah, I mean, you got Jacobs, you got Barkley. You can risk benching A-Chain for Bucky. I would actually encourage you to get Bucky in your lineup.
Jacobs' bad matchup though.
Jacobs does have a bad matchup. Happy PR, Tracy or Reed? I'd probably play Reed. I take the upside and the risk. I just like, what is this game with the Giants and Colts? I think Tracy could be okay. Don't get me wrong. The Giants are at home. I think he has a safer floor, I think, than Reed, but I take the upside with Reed. Happy PR, maybe go the running back, but I'm looking at game script pretty heavily at this point, especially with what we've gotten over the past. Look at the difference between two teams that are fighting for playoff seeding in the Broncos and Bengals, as opposed to what we got. The Cardinals put up a bit of a fight, you know,
as opposed to the Seahawks and the Bears.
Yeah, or the Patriots after the second quarter or whatever, you know. It's like it does have an impact. I think I'd start Jaden Reed. But I think Tracy will be like, okay. Okay, so we got this. Francisco Higgins 40 burger. Let's go. Dicker the kicker at 21. Wow.
Yeah, he had a huge day too. I thought Dicker have a good day. Cade York, Cade York kind of sold. I was high on Cade York as well. But that's Zach Taylor's fault, rushing my man, kicking 33-yard field goal or whatever it was.
It was a tough week to start with kickers, you know. Bucker, Fairbairn.
I got a lot of crap. I got a lot of crap for Fairbairn. I was like, bro, Fairbairn's the number 2 kicker. You're starting him.
Yeah, it's like, what do you got? You got Boswell, you got Fairbairn. Like
I'm starting those guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it just is, because I even looked. I had Boswell in 2-3 leagues, and it's like, what am I gonna do? I really, and I looked at it. I was like, there's this part of me that I was like, I think I'm gonna roll with someone else, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start him, and it's like, what, you know,
Aubrey's the only one. Aubrey's the only one that I've audibled on. I was like, okay, yeah, CD went down. If there's better options out there, you could maybe not play Aubrey this week. But otherwise, just it's kickers, guys. You got to roll with guys who are good.
It's tough. Are Tyreek and Johnny still startable? I think so. Yes. I talk about this in tomorrow morning's video. I think both are startable. The only thing with Tyreek that's a little weird is he does have the injury, but I think he's going to play. I wouldn't worry about it. And it's still a meaningful game for the Dolphins. So
I have to win. The Dolphins are in. The Colts slip up and the Broncos slip up. The Dolphins are in ahead of the Bengals. So
yeah,
they're in a good spot.
Yeah. So, I think those two. Or those three: Tyreek, Jonnu, A-Chain are all startable. I don't think Waddle's going to play. I know he's technically questionable, but Started Burrow and Jamar Chase, but my opponent has T. Higgins. I'm in the opposite boat. I'm in a championship where I have Higgins. My opponent, or no, I'm sorry. My opponent had Jamar Chase and Chase Brown, so close. But yeah, Burrow, huge game. Tajay or London in full PPR. That's close. Pickens and Henry put me down bad against Kyron and McBride. I would risk Tajay personally if you need upside. I go Tajay. I think London will be solid, but the upside's with Tajay. I'm benching Tyreek for Romeo Dobbs. I'm just doing it. I have no more waivers. Higgins, I love you. I mean, if you had Higgins, you have a little bit more, risk that you can go with here. But if Tyreek plays, I'd probably still start Reek over Dobbs. But Dobbs did make the sneaky starts video. Let's see here. Started Jaden Daniels over Burrow.
Oh,
I mean, this one definitely feels bad right now, but and that's the thing. I probably would have still started Burrow personally. But I think Daniel's gonna have a good game. I think that your week's not over, I mean, you're still looking at you got 2 quarterbacks here in the top 6, before this week has been, going into this week. So tough decision. Can I start Dowdle at my flex with Bijan and Tajay? I mean, it depends on who else you got. I would personally flex Tyreek over Dowdle. Yeah. Even with Huntley at quarterback. All right, AR is out. 2 is doubtful. Picked up Bryce. Yeah, if you guys are in a bad spot, I honestly think Bryce Young's the best streaming option at quarterback this week. Have Saquon and AJ. Should I pick it, or just roll Bryce? I just roll Bryce. Give me Bryce Young. Tampa Bay's 31st against opposing quarterbacks in fantasy points allowed. He was solid the last time he played them. He was solid last week. They're playing spoiler. Give me Bryce. H.N. or Bucky. I mean, you can't go wrong here. You can't. The argument with A-Chain is you got backup quarterback in. The argument with Bucky is the Panthers are so bad against the run, and he's been a little bit banged up that Rashad White will get some touches too. But they're both going to have good games. You can't go wrong here. Jennings or Spears at the flex. I think the upside is with Spears. I think I'd rather trust Spears. But Jennings is a big old. He's
question. Yeah, is it juicy? Hit the mystery box. Is it 3 points or is it 28 points?
I mean, this Lions team is so banged up. I think I'd go Spears. He just feels safer. Spears or Thielen. Looks like Pollard's out. Spears is a great matchup. I like both a lot. I mean, they were both in the must-start video. These are 2 guys I think are in really good spots this week. I still think it's Thielen for a floor. I feel like he's a little bit, but the upside is with Spears, and Spears is still safe. I do feel like the game script potentially for the Bucks Panthers is better, but I'm okay going Spears here. If Tua doesn't play, should I sit A-Chain for any of these players? Garando, Ford, Tracy. No, I go A-Chain. A-Chain or Bucky. Just adding that it's non-PPR. I mean, I probably lean Bucky, but I think A-Chain is completely fine. Had a hard time with Reed just because he doesn't get many snaps, only in 3 wide receiver sets is fair. But I feel like the Packers are going to be forced to throw the football. It's going to be tougher to run against them. Jordan Love's going to need to be on point. The game script's going to be competitive. So what's the scenario that the Vikings don't have to try?
There is none.
There is none. Okay.
Lions play Monday, so they got to win.
That's right. Win. So this should be one of the more competitive games of the weekend. So all I'm saying is that it's there for Jaden Reed to have a good game, especially if Watson doesn't play. Then there's even more volume.
Our secondary sucks.
It is bad. It is. They're giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers.
But they're also, that's what happens when you're up 3 scores on a lot of people. People do have to throw.
And when it's tougher to run against a team, it's like the Panthers. The Panthers are last against running backs. They're ninth against receivers because it's so easy to run against them. It's the opposite with the Vikings. Very difficult to run against them, so more teams are going to pass against them too. So these things do add up.
Yeah, like Seattle threw the ball 40 times because they didn't even try and run the football. Like, they didn't even try. You should try. You can sometimes do it.
Colts or Miami defense, like we talked about, it's a coin flip. These are my two favorite streaming options of the week. Jerome Ford or Khalil Shakir. I think I go Shakir. But the last time the Bills played the Jets, he was bad. But I don't know if that really matters to me. I think I'd rather trust Shakir. We got Packers fans in the chat.
Talk a lot of mess this week. Very confident team who already lost to the Vikings at home.
I was gonna say, don't mention it to Pete. There's like a lot of Packers fans in this community.
There's a lot of NFC North fans. There's a billion Lions fans, but those guys are coming out of the woodwork. We got Bears fans. At least I can tease J-Dubs. We got a few Viking fans too.
Yeah. Jessica, full PPR. Second time we got this question. Johnny Smith or Chig? I still think I'd go Johnny Smith. He's so tough to bench, even with Huntley at quarterback. So let me just pull it up. When Johnny played with Huntley at quarterback, 11.1, 22.6. He had a goose egg in that weird game against Tennessee in week 4. But the two out of 3 of those games are still solid. It is really close. I think Jonnu is the floor and Chig is the upside play. So you want to bring a little bit more risk, but more upside, you can go with Chig. I am starting Chig in literally 3 championships this week, if it makes you guys feel better. But I'm also starting Jonnu in at least 1. Although I don't have the option of Chicken Conquo in that league for what it's worth. All right, Oz, I sat Ramondre Stevenson good because how does a player get named not the starter, then start, and then literally have 0.1 fantasy points, 2 carries? So Gibson had 12 carries. So I guess Gibson was the actual starter. What a mess. Why is Gerard Mayo so spiteful of Ramondre Stevenson when he fumbles? I mean, I guess he's a man of his word. Anyways, good thing that you sat Stevenson. So you got Alexander Madison and AJ Brown's your wide receiver 2. Meaning my flex is either JMO or Chig. I would still go JMO. Waiver, no MVS, no Kendra Miller, no Jalen Coker in your lineup, please. Coker could do something, but it's risky. Yeah, flex JMO. JMO is the definition of a player that you want in your flex. So you're good here. Also Raiders and Commanders. I go Raiders defense personally. Raise your hand if Chuba and Connor ruined your season. I know there are literal lineups that, like, going into this week were like Chuba, Connor, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts. What are you gonna do? Cleveland defense because Tua and Waddle are out, or Raiders? I listen. I don't know, like the Dolphins are gonna light things up or anything, but I just don't trust this Browns defense. I mean, they're just bad. I mean, the Raiders defense sucks too, but I would rather risk the Raiders. They've had 7 or more points in 3 straight games. I think I would risk the Raiders. Name 3 starting play. I mean, okay, it's not that hard. Spencer Rattler, Kendra Miller, and MVS, but there's just no one on the Saints offense. No one. mean, did we see the Monday night game last week? Packers are way better
Yeah,
defense, but
yeah.
still, you know,
They couldn't. They
it was
couldn't.
bad.
Yeah, they couldn't tie their cleats. It looked like.
No, it was bad. Scott, how are we looking for championship week? I have McBride, Lamar, Henry to start. Very good, I would say. Very good start. Marvelo, the wise. Abdullah, Hawk, Alave, Cooks, or Conquo. Is Alave really actually going to try and play? If I'm Chris Olave, I am. He's out. He's not playing. Okay. It's between Abdullah and Nkonkwo for me. I know Cooks like could see some opportunities, but it's just week 17. Like, no, thank you. I do like Abdullah. I do like Madison. It's Abdullah or Nkonkwo for sure. Spears or Thielen. I think, did we answer this? I go Spears. I go Spears.
Spears for the upside.
But I like Thielen a lot. Dylan, let's see. One flex, Madison or Abdullah. I mean, this is a total coin flip. I talked about this in yesterday's video. It's a complete coin flip, but they're both startable. They both had solid games last week. Abdullah maybe slightly more upside because of the volume in the passing game, but it's toss up. Ertz or Chig, guys, if you're debating tight ends this week and you don't have a top 5 tight end, my answer is Chig and Conquo. Okay, just go ahead and line them up in your lineups. One wide receiver: Waddle, Zacchaeus, Cooks, Nick Westbrook, Akine. I don't think Waddle's going to play. I mean, he might. I'll go. Oh gosh, this is rough. Zacchaeus might do something against that Falcons secondary, but Nick Westbrook Akine might do something. I mean, I'd either go Cooks due to volume or Nick Westbrook Akine due to touchdown upside. Because I don't think Waddle's going to be an option. All right, Miami, Philly, Las Vegas. I'd probably have them in that exact order: Miami, Philly, Las Vegas. Tampa Bay or Buffalo. Buffalo. I'm not going to. I think Carolina's going to be good enough here. And then Las Vegas or Cleveland. I go Las Vegas. Go Las Vegas. All right. Good luck, Dylan. Brain cells started Dobbins over Spears. Now debating Spears over Hall. That's fine. I think Hall will still be solid, but that's fine. More upside with Spears. Andrea, hello. Andrea about to go back to back in the catch league #1. 2 years in a row. Let me check if that's changed at all. Oh, you're losing now. But you still got to get. I mean, you're only projected to lose by 5. That doesn't mean much.
That's a game. That's a game. That's a
yeah.
With it one touchdown.
Yeah, that could change in a heartbeat.
I was projected to lose by 6, and then overtime happened. You just get an overtime. You're good.
If Tua's out, Young or Flacco, Bryce Young. Don't risk streaming Joe Flacco this week, guys. The Giants' defense is not that bad.
Especially since Tampa's secondary is horrible. You can throw on Tampa.
I mean, the Giants' defense is bad, but they're also not that bad. They're weird. Because who have they played over the past couple of weeks? Because they've looked really bad as of late. I mean, the Falcons weren't even that good against them, really. They just ran the ball a ton, and the Ravens, are the Ravens. So, anyways, I digress. I definitely go Bryce Young here. Started Allen over Herbert. Yes, don't overthink it. You started Josh Allen. I know Herbert had a big game, but come on. It's Josh Allen. Chig or Johnny Smith? This is a popular question tonight. Johnny has the floor, Chig has the upside. I think you have a good start here no matter what is. So don't let it shake you up too much. Dowdle, Shakir, or McMillan? I think I go McMillan. But I don't put them in order as McMillan, Shakir, and Dowdle. Shakir or Ford? I'd probably go Shakir. Raiders or Browns defense? I'm still going Raiders. But I think you guys bring up a fair point about the Browns defense. But I think there's more playmakers. It's a more meaningful game for the Dolphins offense. My opponent's playing Rachaad White, Dowdle, and Ford. Hope they do nothing. I will never wish anything ill on Rachaad White, but the rest there. Go, Center. Have a great night. Thanks for chilling. Spears or Thielen? Oh, okay. I think like this is repeating, but Thielen for a floor, Spears for upside. Spears or Neighbors? Neighbors is still questionable, I think, but I feel like he's going to end up playing. Appears set to suit up Sunday as of 9 minutes ago. Toe injury. Once again, I think Neighbors is super safe, good floor. Spears has the upside. I'd probably start Spears. But I still like Neighbors a lot. All right. Millie Mills is Cooper Cup has killed my championship dreams this year. Yeah, like I said, probably the biggest bust through the fantasy playoffs. Go to third place after finishing second in my league. Hey, third place is not bad. Once again, I think every league should have a prize for first, second, and third, and your toilet bowl. So you still feel somewhat it is really hard to win a fantasy championship. Hawks need the Cardinals to win. I don't think they're completely out yet, right?
Yeah, Hawks are out.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. The Hawks are out. Yes. Sorry, Tommy. The Hawks are out. My bad.
I needed that one.
Even after, a big performance Thursday night, they're out. Tough. Still like a encouraging year for the Seahawks. But the craziest thing is that division was just wide open, and I guess the Rams are running with it, but it just doesn't feel like anyone's really running with it at the same time. But I guess the Rams are. Did the Rams win that division?
Yep, they are officially your NFC West champions.
I'm so bad at like watching what's happening and comprehending what's happening sometimes. Wait. Happy I sat Connor. I commend him for making it this far in the season. Yeah, it's just a tough situation. But I'm glad you sat him as well. With 2 out, would you start Spears over A-Chain? I think A-Chain has the floor. Spears has the upside. Bench Stafford, last minute for Bryce Young. Would you still play Young over Flacco or Rodgers? Yes, I would. Dolphins defense versus Browns versus the Colts. Oh, wait. Dolphins or Colts? Okay. Once again, my 2 favorite streams of the week. You could flip a coin. Has anyone heard the status of Chase Brown's injury? It's an ankle injury. He has a good shot at playing next week as long as it's not serious, because the Bengals still have to win next week. So, yeah, if you're playing in week 18, and like Pete said earlier, it didn't appear to be crazy. It's an ankle sprain. So players can play the following week coming off an ankle sprain for sure. Mahomes has like broken his ankle 40 times. And
Mahomes always just be breaking ankles.
Yeah, they're just shooting up that ankle left and right with whatever painkillers.
That's why he ain't playing this week.
And in all seriousness, like an ankle injury is like a sprained ankle is something that players can manage in all seriousness. So for tight end, I go with Nkonkwo, Hawkinson, or Jonnu. Man, we're we're gonna remember championship week this year as the Jonnu versus Nkonkwo week. Johnny for floor and Nkonkwo for upside. Why do you think A-Chain will have a good game? Most he scored with QB is 10. You are wrong about the weeks Huntley played was 4, 5, and 7. Isn't that exactly what I said? Unless I said it wrong out loud. But yeah, Huntley played weeks 4, 5, and 7. A-Chain. Oh, you're right. I looked a week ahead. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just not overly concerned about A-Chain because he's been. That's the thing. Like when we were getting into the fantasy playoffs, I try to look at who's been the most productive on the season for the most part. So I'm not too worried about A-Chain. He's just a tough player to bench. Plus, I think he was injured in that stretch. All right, Kevin, sit 1. Tyreek, J-Mo, McMillan, Goff's your quarterback. I probably still start Tyreek and J-Mo, but if you're worried, upset about the Dolphins, then just go McMillan over Tyreek. What do you think? Blackshear will get good workload. No, I am not starting Raheem Blackshear in any format this week. It's just wait, like you have to be really desperate or in a really deep format, because I've read that Mike Boone is going to get touches.
Yeah, Mike Boone is
Yeah.
like they said there's no true backfield this
Yeah.
week. I heard Mike Boone is going to be.
Yeah.
Mike
And it's
Boone,
not even a good matchup,
Great preseason running back. It's a horrible matchup. Tampa Bay's run defense is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, both of these running backs in the last 2 weeks have both had 3 touches in total. I mean, I would way rather start Amir Abdullah. Not even close. Not even close. It's a good matchup. Abdullah has a touchdown in each of the last 2 games. Like, give me Amir Abdullah. I'm not touching Blackshear. Yeah, I'm not. I do not prefer to start Kendre Miller either. Is Ertz a good play over Jonnu? I would rather start Jonnu. I am not panicking about the Dolphins. It's so easy to look at a situation like this and just panic because everyone's telling you to panic. I mean, you guys might disagree, but I think that Jonnu, Tyreek Hill, and A-Chain are all still startable. I mean, Ertz is fine, but like he didn't do anything last week. He's fine though. If you feel better about it, I still think he has a floor. Atlanta's 15th against tight ends. Like they're not great, they're not awful. I just leave Johnny in. I'd ride or die with the guy who got me there. Katz is in the house. What's up, man? We got Strange, Chigger, Kraft. You already. Why is this? This is not even a question.
No.
It's not a question, Katz. It's an obvious must start. We're going Chicken Conquo. So chances Josh Allen puts up 30 fantasy points versus the Jets. I think he's averaged 24 fantasy points per game, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get there. It's Josh Allen. But
he owes us after last week.
He does owe us. I think closer to 20 points is more realistic, though. Ford, Spears, or Tracy. I'm going Spears. Miami or Bills. I would risk the upside with Miami. I feel like this is obvious, but Brees over A-Chain. I mean, I don't personally think it's that obvious, but the matchup is with Brees Hall. What's going on, Killikenny? Need one. Dowdle, Madison, or Miller? I go Madison. I take the matchup. Just give me Madison. He was solid last week. I don't want to start Dowdle. I do not want to start Kendre Miller. And if it makes you guys feel better, I am starting Kendre Miller in one league, but I have no options, and I'm at least had T. Higgins and Derrick Henry in this lineup. But I had Henry, Kamara, and Monty all season long. Made it through last week with Kendre Miller. And I could go Mike Boone. That's the next best option looking at things. So Mike Boone, Ty Johnson, Blake Corum, Audric Estime, those guys played. Pierre Strong, Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, there's nobody. So I'm just going to play Kendrick Miller. But you have to be in that type of situation to play Miller. I would feel great if I had Madison or even Dowdle over Miller. All right, B-Rob, Tracy, or White in full PPR. I go White, Tracy, B-Rob. I'm a little low on B-Rob this week. Different league. Start 2 out of B-Rob, Garando, Tracy, and Devonta. I go Tracy and Devonta. But I think B-Rob could be okay. I'm just a little worried about him. D has JJ, Addison, A-Chain, Ford, Chick, Spears, and Colts defense to his Miller, Evans, Amon-Ra, Hawkinson, and Green Bay defense. Yeah, I think you're in a good spot here. But do you think Evans going to have a good game? Amon-Ra. I don't know that I mean, it's good for you, but I don't know that I'm starting Green Bay's defense this week.
I wouldn't. I sure
No.
shit would. I would.
No. I don't like that matchup at all.
That game's gonna be. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna have to score touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't love Hawkinson. I don't like Kendra Miller. JJ Addison, A-Chain, Ford, Chig, Spears, Colts defense. Yeah. You're already up. Yeah. I'd feel good, but you never know any given Sunday. All right. My wide receiver room's giving me headaches. Pick 3 of these guys: JJ, AJ Brown, BTJ, or Mike Evans. Yeah. I mean, there is no bad start here. No bad start. BTJ, I don't think I can bench. And in terms of fantasy points allowed, Tennessee's second, Green Bay's first, in case you're wondering. So, I mean, I'm close to going up against the best pass defense, but technically second best. I mean, that's what you got. Like BTJ matchup, AJ Brown picking at quarterback. JJ technically is a bad matchup. I'm not worried about it. Mike Evans technically is not a good matchup either. I'm still not worried about it. But the last time the Jags played the Titans, Brian Thomas Jr. still had 16 points. I'm not benching Brian Thomas Jr. He's a wide receiver 5. He is okay. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you do not have a bad start no matter what you do here. I would start JJ. I'd start Brian Thomas. I think it comes down to AJ Brown or Evans, but it's just you can't go wrong here. You can't. You either argue that AJ Brown's playing with the backup quarterback, or you look at Mike Evans' matchup, but Evans, they're going to force feed him. What he needs 200 yards.
Yeah, he's like at one something, like one. He needs like 200 more yards.
They're gonna get him though.
I mean, he's got 2 games, so but he's probably getting 100 at least.
Yeah, he's got 818 on the season. Last time he played Carolina, had 25 points. I feel like he always plays well against Carolina. So, I mean, you can't go wrong, but you can't bench JJ. I still am arguing that you cannot bench Brian Thomas Jr. And you can't really bench AJ Brown or Mike Evans. So just don't overthink this one. You are in a good spot no matter what. Odds for the trophy are 50-50. Yeah, I try not to overthink it. Trust your gut. Don't let it, bug you left and right to where you're swapping players all day and night. Like, just trust your gut. You have good starts no matter what. All right, Joshua, we need one wide receiver and a flex. Neighbors, Adams, Ford, Debo. I'll start Adams. The Bills' secondary has been falling back, and Aaron Rodgers in his pride, his best friend, or
Ruining the Jets. Nobody can ruin a draft pick just quite like the Jets.
yeah. I think I'd still play Neighbors as long as he's. They're saying he's likely to play, so I think I go Neighbors and Adams. Pete is the NFL standings GOAT. He is.
We spent like 2 hours last night doing playoff machine stuff on stream at like 2:30 in the morning. I know the scenarios.
That's why we keep him around. Did Rams officially clinch? Yes. Yep.
They are your NFC West champions.
Yep. What a roller coaster of a division this year. Philly or Vikings defense? I go Philly.
Do not play the Vikings defense tomorrow.
Yeah, you have to assume there's points in that game. I'm going Philly. A Philly defense could pick up the Dolphins. Philly for the floor. Dolphins have a lot more upside. Do I start J-Mo or McMillan? I think I would personally still start J-Mo. But McMillan's fine. McMillan's the floor. J-Mo gives you the upside. Have a good night, Andrea. Always good to have you. Would you trust Adams this week? I have Mooney and Devonta on the bench. Yes, I would still trust Adams. Right. The Jets are playing for nothing, but they feel like they're playing for everything.
Yeah, they're the
come
Jets,
alive.
guys.
Yeah. First read looks are all going to Adams. I would still play Adams. Problem is McDaniels turns into a play calling pumpkin without Tua. I mean, that is true. But
he's always a play calling pumpkin. He's DJ Mikey Mike.
He's out there coked up and hitting the vape.
spinning records, bro.
Zooted out of his mind. I just I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but personally, I'm just not freaking out about the Dolphins offense. If it was like a tougher matchup, then I'd be moving a lot lower, but this Browns defense is just not good. They're just not. So you have to really try and rationalize yourself is one of the most important things you can do throughout the course of the fantasy season, but especially in championship weekend and the playoffs, you just have to try and not overthink it, Think about all the there are people left and right last week, like Patrick Taylor, Kendre Miller, starting over I don't, over productive players all season long. And it's just don't overthink it for the most part. And sometimes that doesn't work out, but for the most part, I don't know. I think it's important to just hold your ground. Can the Falcons secondary keep Scary Terry from going nuclear? I don't think so, Brochacho.
I mean, nuclear maybe, but very good, probably not. I mean, just plug in 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he was one of my underdog picks this week. I think he's gonna have a great game. Don't understand how you're so high on the Dolphins offense when they've been repeatedly awful under any quarterback other than Tua. Hill, A-Chain, and Jonnu are borderline unplayable. Yeah, and I mean, I would definitely agree that their ceiling is going to be lower. But like I just said, I think they're still startable. It's just they do take a hit. Don't get me wrong. It just, once again, it depends who are you benching them for. And I think the most important thing is, once again, this is a meaningful game for the Dolphins, so they have to go out there and try. If they were out of the playoffs, and it was a bad matchup, then I wouldn't feel good. And I once again, I'm not super high on the Dolphins offense per se, but I think those three guys are still startable. So we shall see. Marcus, you are welcome. Thanks for hanging out, for asking us questions. Go Pack Go, says Cats.
Calm down over there. Yeah, see, this is how I know Detroit fans have just fallen off the cliff when they're rooting for the Packers, because they're scared. They don't have to play Week 18 because they scared.
So if the Packers win,
the Lions just have to win. Lions win, they clinch the 1 seed. They have to beat the Niners on Monday.
So I'm thinking for Week 18, the best scenario for a competitive game is that the Vikings win this weekend. Okay. Mm-hmm. then I kind of want the Vikings because the Packers are still going to make it, So I kind of want the Vikings and Lions to be a big thing on week 18. Richard, standard league, need a tight end, Johnny or Laporta? That's a good question. I think I may go Laporta here. I still like Johnny Smith, as we've established tonight. But I mean, Laporta's been pretty dang good.
He's been pretty good lately. This is a tough question.
It's a tough matchup. Niners have given up the second fewest points. The Browns have still given up the 25th most points to tight ends. It's close. It's close. But both have been really solid over the past couple of weeks. Johnny's been better, but Laporta's been very solid the last few weeks. He's actually moved up to the tight end 8 on the season, which makes you feel a little bit better if you drafted him in the 3rd round or whatever. The matchup is with Johnny Smith. The quarterback plays with Laporta. Any chance Tua plays? I mean, there is a chance.
I would say doubtful. Just doubtful.
Yeah, I mean,
doubtful is out in the NFL.
95% of the time it's out, but every now and then it's like, oh my gosh, he's actually playing. So, yeah, how rare is it? I would say literally 95% of the time.
It might even be higher. It might be like 99.
Yeah, I'm being a bit generous. Doubtful is almost as bad as out. Start AJ Brown or Devontae. Ooh. Rodgers 500. That is really close. That is really close. This could really go either way. And you know what? We don't have a poll tonight.
Give them the poll.
So we're going to go to the people. Who started in week 17? And guys, if you haven't hit the like, do it right now.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like. All right, so AJ Brown versus Dallas, who's 25th against wide receivers, which I knew off the top of my head, or Devontae Adams versus Buffalo, who's like 16th, or I'm going to double check. But 18th, I was close. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the poll is up. It is time for you to hit the like button and answer Chaz's question. All right, have PPR, need a running back and a flex. Spears, B-Rob, Addison Smith. I would start Spears over B-Rob, and I'd start Addison.
Hey, J-Dub just gifted a membership on my channel. J-Dub the GOAT!
And on our channel.
Look at that. J-Dub's the man. If only Caleb Williams was better for him. Sad day.
Oh. Trying to hop in a little mitten. Is that whatever?
Is that what I like? Only Underdog. Come up with
I haven't done any. So it's all playoff best ball. When do these end?
God. I feel like that's great content for like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The real playoffs.
Because that's part of what I
had planned.
Closes on the 11th. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off a bit.
Teaser.
Yeah, but I will be doing some Underdog stuff soon. Would you go Spears over Hall or A-Chain? If not, who should I play in the flex? Jennings, Spears, flex. Guy I'm playing has Birdie. I mean, I think all three running backs here are very startable. I do think Spears has the most perceived upside here. So we got, Spears is still on the Titans. Like this game could be 31-28, or it could be 9-3. But I think it'll be probably somewhere in the middle. Then Hall, it's like the Jets. Like Yeah, they're just playing. Like, are they even spoiling anything? I guess because what did the Bills have on the line?
Nothing. I had the two. They got to win to lock up the 2 seed.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
about it. But they're
That's
probably. I
it.
mean, they realistically got it. I mean,
Yeah. A chain. Some people obviously don't like two is doubtful. So like you have reason to look at options here. I think I would personally start Hall, A chain, and Spears. But once again, I think Jennings could have a big week. It's close here. He's still risky. I guess all it takes is one play for A chain. Last week's perfect example. Last few minutes of the game, man, he was okay. I mean, he's having a great game before that play too. J Dub's in the house. What's up? Thank you for gifting a membership. A 1 month membership goes to Chris. Aaron Jones or Spears? Ooh. I probably would still play Aaron Jones, but the upside is with Spears.
yeah, I don't know what Aaron Jones' upside is. We don't. The Vikings do not like to run the football, especially when they know they can throw the football. It's kind of a problem. We need to run the ball more, but we're bad at it.
Yeah.
And we
Like
got
he's been solid. He's gonna get the volume. They're not giving a ton of touches to Akers and Chandler. Probably a good thing, but
we just get into like I could see this game getting into the rhythm where it's like we're throwing the ball every drive. We're throwing the ball 12 plays out of 13 to this game because we gotta just keep scoring and they're not stopping. JJ
the
and
upside
J.
is with Spears. It is. No, I mean I put Spears in the must start video, so I guess I'm going Spears. But Jones has the floor for sure. Y'all got any money line? There, no such thing as a money line lock.
Yeah, lock. No, feel really good about. Yeah, probably like the Colts or something against the Giants. I feel pretty good about.
A lot of the favorites this week feel pretty safe,
especially on the money line.
I think. I don't know who the favorite of the Broncos Bengals was, but outside of that,
the Bengals were 3.5-point favorites, so they did cover. It looked like a Broncos cover. The Chargers were my favorite. They were 5.5-point favorites. I was like, there's no way the Patriots are keeping this game close.
All favorites have won so far this week.
Bills maybe favorite.
Yeah, Bills.
That's it.
I forgot the Eagles.
The Cowboys are a little spooky, man. Cowboys are a little spooky.
Yeah, they're a little
Kenny Pickett
spooky.
at quarterback.
They're a little spooky. I like the Commanders personally, but it's still like that's the thing. If you guys start betting, your confidence levels will go way down, especially in the NFL. I mean, it's a pretty volatile sport.
Yeah. It's 50 professional bettors, guys, are 55%.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that's the thing. I would say the Colts too, but the Flacco quarterback, I don't know.
I just think the Giants will intentionally lose to keep that first pick. Oh no, what's happening? They're running the wrong way. Here's the safety.
My gosh, Drew Lock is hurt. Let's put DeVito in. Yeah, they're the Bills, sure.
Especially
what are they like? What's the money line line like?
I mean, a lot. I mean, they're laying 9.5. I think so. Yeah, you're not getting much. There's not much juice there.
I think this is a better week to take touchdown scores. But even then, like I like the Buccaneers running backs. I kind of like the Jaguars running backs at home, but it's a 50-50 shot.
All the good bets were today. Like
the
Bengals receivers, Joe Burrow, everybody on the Chargers, like J.K. Dobbins would have been my touchdown bet today, and it would have been close, but
Kyron Williams was like
Kyron Williams automatic
defense has been awful.
Yeah.
This is time of year where it's up and down. Whenever I
Over.
think I could be,
Over in Vikings and Packers. Over in Vikings and Packers.
yeah, that I
Points.
do like. That I
All the
do like.
points. There you go.
Uh, maybe
Oh.
like the Colts defense score a touchdown.
Oh yeah, that's probably some crazy odds there. If you want to get spicy, I know a guy quarterback by Jared Goff is not talking right now.
Whenever I think I could be scared of the Vikings, I look up a picture of Sam Darnold. Dude, don't even talk.
Sam
Smack.
Darnold significantly better than Jared Goff this year, but whatever.
Awesome.
Hey,
You cannot talk smack on Sam Darnold of all quarterbacks ever to exist. And I mean, I know that you're somewhat scared of this man right here.
look at that. That's a beautiful ginger man right there.
Look at that.
It's an
You're telling
intense
me
warrior.
that this doesn't concern you?
Uh,
Look at that. Even in a Panthers uniform. I mean, I remember when he was coming out of college, though, it was really like, this is the next.
he was going to be the first pick. It was a
Yeah.
shock when the Browns took Baker Mayfield over him.
It was. Remember that. You're lying, Cats, if you say you're not scared of that right there. Okay. I mean,
I
look
say
at
the same. I say
that
the
is
same
scary.
thing about Dan Campbell being the head coach of the Lions.
Yeah,
I just know he's
that's
going to
fair.
do something stupid. He's just going to do something stupid.
He
As much as
might.
I love Dan and my Aggies, but
Super chat. Due to the Richardson injury, I need a replacement quarterback. Who's a better option, O'Connell, Penix, or Jones?
ooh, Jones.
Yeah, it's O'Connell or Jones. The problem is the floor with Jones is so bad. But he's had like the 2 solid games as well. But one of the bad games came against the Titans. I think I would start O'Connell.
He's not bad. Yeah, O'Connell's not bad. Like he's not a good quarterback, but he's not terrible. He can play quarterback.
The floor with both quarterbacks is bad. But the ceiling with Jones is 20 points. He had 20 in week 13, 20.6 in week 15. Last time he played Tennessee, he had 7 points. He had 13 points last week. Then Aiden O'Connell was good against the Chiefs. What was that, like Thanksgiving week 13?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He got hurt the next week.
Black Friday.
Then he was bad last week. 11 points. No touchdown. He wasn't like, he didn't have any turnovers.
Is Bryce Young available? Like, is
Bryce
Young's available? We like Bryce Young.
I think. Yeah, Bryce Young was my streamer of the week. But it's not really a great week for streaming quarterbacks. So
no.
Herbert
would have been a nice one if Herbert was out there for some people.
Yeah. I go O'Connell, Jones, Penix. Start one, Spears or Hall? Got a lot of that question tonight too. Hall for floor, Spears for upside. T. Higgins and Burrow going scorched earth and burying me. Yeah, tough combo to go. Oh, that was against Pete, right?
No, he didn't. He lost. I'm playing LeBron's in that one.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, you're not the only victim, J-Dubs.
Everybody's a victim.
Yeah.
Or
Rudolph, O'Connor, or Flacco had Hurts. I think I'd go Mason Rudolph. I think he's had, I can check, but at least 16 points since taking over again. Yeah, 16.7, 17.3. It's a good matchup. He has 2 passing touchdowns in each game and 4 interceptions, but, you know, if you took away the picks, it wouldn't be so bad. O'Connell probably has more upside, but Rudolph more of a floor. I would not go Flacco.
I mean, Rudolph to like Ridley, like they in Aronco, like he got guys he can throw to that could score, which are going to help. The running backs aren't going to necessarily poach him.
Yeah. And Chicken Conquo plays for the Titans, if you guys did not know. But yeah, Tajay Spears, Calvin Ridley, Chicken Conquo, Nicholas Okakine. I mean, O'Connell's got Bowers and.
But like they don't score, like the Raiders
Myers.
it feels like they don't score touchdowns. I at least feel like the Titans score touchdowns. It feels like the Raiders play 17-12 games all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's close there. Yep, we're into the mittens. They're gonna need a break because the big board will open up next month for pre-draft best ball. Jeez, it really is next month, isn't it? It's crazy. Um, did anybody have any underdog teams, any best ball teams advance into this week? How you guys looking? Is Spears a better play than Jacobs? Now that
I don't know about better, but
I'm not benching Jacobs if I have him. I think he'll have a good floor. Like the matchup's tough. I I'm just not benching Jacobs
yeah,
if I got
like
him.
he has super high touchdown potential because
Yeah.
he can score. Green Bay will move the football. He will have opportunities in the red zone, I think.
Last time he played Minnesota, he had 11 points. Wasn't that like
There was a lot of garbage time points too. Minnesota was up like 27 nothing in
that
that game.
was that game. Okay.
Yeah.
And like yeah, that was a bad game script for Jacobs. Cuz they just were throwing trying to catch up. Um he really only had a decent game cuz he had 4 catches. 51 yards on the ground, no tutties. That's a weird game to compare because that was such a specific
Yeah.
game script. It was Jordan Love's first game back
First game
after
back.
getting hurt too. Geez, that feels like years ago. The
Oof. I
season,
mean,
yeah,
it was 13 weeks ago.
yeah. But yeah, I really like Spears this week, but I am not benching Jacobs. I'm just not. What's up, Kels? Garrett Wilson, J-Mo, Jennings, pick 2. I think you either just send it and take the upside in J-Mo and Jennings, or you kind of take the floor, which is Wilson and J-Mo. What do you need more? What do you feel like, a floor or upside? Nelson, happy PPR pick 2. Reed, London, McMillan. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. I think London and McMillan are closer to floors. Reed is upside, but risky. I think I go matchup. I go Reed and no, I don't think I go matchup. I think I go Reed and McMillan. I I might be too low on London. Like he wasn't playing that bad. He just got hurt. He's off the injury report. I mean, he had 8 targets and 5 catches. I don't remember when he left last week. I just don't know what we're gonna get out of Michael Penix. It's not an awful matchup. Commanders are 19th against receivers. I mean, London's been the. I think I go Reed in London. Reed in London. Just Googled if the Rams are officially clinched. It says there's still things to happen. Too much to type. That might be like I don't know if you might be looking at something that came out before the game because some stuff isn't updated. Like even if you go to NFL.com and look at the playoff picture, because that's what I usually use, it's not updated. Yeah, it's not completely updated yet based off of the game that just happened. But you might be right, but I don't know. I don't know. Jennings or Tracy Jr.? The floor is Tracy, the upside is Jennings. Tyreek or Thielen? Thielen is the floor, Tyreek's the upside. Yogi the Bear. That is not. Sam Darnold is a perfect human being. He's not Yogi the Bear. Kraft or Ferguson? It's kind of a coin flip here.
Minnesota's kind of bad against tight ends.
Yeah, I think I look at game script again and I would go Kraft. I think I go Kraft. Tyreek McMillan, Myers or Ford for the flex. I mean, Tyreek and Myers have the matchup. I think the game script kind of lies with McMillan. These guys are. I mean, it's super close. And I think they're all kind of floor plays at this point, too. All right. Side note, I had to Google it. The Seahawks are still in the playoff race.
Are they technically alive for the
They
wild
have
card?
a 1% chance of making it in.
So that's Buccaneers lose both, Falcons lose both, Commanders lose both.
I'm trying to.
I'll run it. You keep answering questions. I'll run it for us. I got the playoff machine.
Wait. With Seattle beating Chicago and the Rams beating the Cardinals, there's a chance that Los Angeles is still able to secure the NFC West title in. No, wait. This is. I don't think this is updated.
I'll look. Falcons win.
All right. But yeah, they have a less than 1% chance. Yeah, you figured it out.
I'll figure it out, guys. I'm the master of this. Let's go.
Sorry, Tommy, and any other Seahawks fans. We're fake news tonight. Albert,
Oh, they're still out. Okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know how they get it. I really don't.
Yeah, it's not likely. Albert, I think I would go with Tyreek still. But if you don't like Tyreek, I go McMillan. Conklin or Jawan Johnson, I mean, flip a coin and pick your poison. These are not my favorite options. Kat says it's based on strength of victory. Tiebreaker.
Yeah, and they need for the next 2 weeks, they need the Vikings, Browns, Dolphins, and somebody else not to win 3.5 games over the next 2 weeks.
What?
Combined, yeah. Like they need everybody. Yeah, they need like everybody to lose.
Well, there's a chance. Where there's a will, there's a way. Kels, I would go Ferguson over Conklin or Johnson. J-Mo, Coker, Garando, and the flex. I go J-Mo. John, have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. Good luck. Who do I start, Garando or Spears? I'm going Spears, Willie. I'm going Spears. McMillan, Tyreek, Myers, or Ford. We just hit that one. Seahawks do play the Rams next week.
They do.
Okay.
Okay. 3.5 more wins from the Vikings, Bills, 49ers, Commanders, Bengals, Browns. Okay, so I'm going to try and somehow get them into the playoffs here.
If the Seahawks make the playoffs, I will do something special. Just because we were wrong. Jennings or A-Chain at the flex? A-Chain for a floor, Jennings for upside. It's your year, Tommy. It's your year. I'm not shaving my eyebrows if the Seahawks make.
I will shave my eyebrows if the Seahawks make the playoffs.
Oh, gosh, I am not risking that 1% or less chance.
Yes, yeah.
And I reloaded. NFL.com is updated now, and yes, it's a 1% chance. And yeah, they don't have the Rams secured, but. So, I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, we're looking at in the AFC, the Broncos. Wait, do 7 teams from each?
Yeah, 7 and 7.
Okay.
7 and 7.
Oh, man. So, it's probably going to be the Broncos, but it might be the Bengals. That's so weird that they played each other this past week, too. Well, actually, it'll probably be the Broncos, but the Bengals have a 13% chance. Colts have a 16% chance. Dolphins have a 10% chance. If the Colts or Dolphins lose tomorrow, they drop to 1%. In the good old NFC, you got the Rams at a 99% chance because the Seahawks are at a 1% chance. Falcons at 56% chance, Commanders at 94% chance, and the Bucks are at a 50% chance. So I think it'll basically be wrapped up after this week, which is not good for next week's viewership, but it probably won't matter too much. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping up over the next 5-10 minutes. So if you guys need anything, be sure to get it in here. Sorry if you've answered already. What odds do you give Tua to play? Like a 1% chance. Yeah. I was being optimistic. I said 5% earlier, but yeah, when a player's listed as doubtful, they're basically out. Cats, Pete, can we get a mini versus Detroit bet for next week?
Sure, after we beat the Packers first. Got to beat those idiot cheeseheads.
Yeah, because that's going to determine the seriousness.
We'll absolve them of the Anthony Richardson bet.
Ooh. Are we dissolving the Anthony Richardson bet? Aubrey's been my kicker all season. He's been amazing, but CD is out. The Eagles' defense is really good. I'm worried they won't get a field goal range. Would you start McManus over Aubrey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
McManus is safer play.
This was in Pete's video. He talked about this.
But there is some weird juju in Minnesota with opposing kickers this year. I cannot explain it. It used to be the best place to kick field goals. It's now become a living hell for opposing kickers. I do not know why. So be warned, beware, but I think it's just a better play this week.
I owe y'all for AR unless he goes buck wild. You're good. We'll leave it be.
We could absolve him.
It's even because you got the Hunter Henry over Kincaid correct. So it was fun to track.
He should get punished for Hunter Henry throwing up a goose egg in the fantasy championship.
That's true. It was fun to track. I'm glad it feels like yesterday we were drafting best ball teams and putting down bets for the season. Now the season's done. Jerome Ford or Tracy, asks Jay Silva. I'm going Tracy, but it's not. I think it's going to make or break you at running back there. London Shakir or Devonta. That's very close for wide receiver. I like Devonta, but I think I'd actually stick with Drake London. I think I'd stick with Drake London. Who are you picking as the best defenses for week 18? I mean, it's always tough to say, but in terms of streaming options this week, I like the Colts. I like the Dolphins. I think the Raiders can do some damage if you're desperate. And I like the Eagles. Seahawks and Bears both were good. Rams were good. Chargers were good. So that's about it. We talked about the Rams in the defense video. I do think there's a chance for either the Falcons or Commanders to have a solid day, but I could also see that going sideways. So that is about it. Titans, Jags, there's probably maybe something there, but I'm not risking it. Subbed in Higgins for A-Chain. Very good move, Sam. We would beat the Vikings with Teddy Bridgewater if Green Bay wins this week.
Nobody's playing in week 18 then.
Bridgewater's playing. That's all that matters. He is on the Vikings, right? That's who signed him?
No, the Lions signed him.
Oh, that's right. The Lions did. Okay.
We're going to snap his leg again. We know where it's weak.
I thought he was coaching.
He was. He won a state championship at his alma mater, and now he just got re-signed because they're done.
Good for Teddy Bridgewater.
It's a shame we're going to have to ruin that Super Bowl chase.
No. Who is he the
third?
Who? Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker.
Is he alive?
Yeah, they said they just, want to add Teddy in the room, try and get him a ring.
Huh.
If the team starts doing that, you're never going to get a ring. Ring chasers don't get rings unless they can contribute.
Teddy 2 gloves. Let's go. Bucky or A-Chain? Bucky for sure. I mean, maybe not for sure, but I'm going Bucky. If I got Bucky, he's in my lineup, but I still think A-Chain will be fine. Jonnu or Laporta? We got this earlier. I think I'd still go Jonnu, but I still really like Laporta. Good start either way. Every defense that's played the Saints has balled out. I had the Eagles. Would you pick up the Raiders to stream? Should I stick with the Eagles? I mean, the Eagles have the upside, but I'm sorry, the Raiders have the upside, but the Eagles are probably the safer play. So, if you need upside, go for the Raiders, but I think the Eagles will be solid. They were both in the video for defense this week. So. Roster is filled with injuries, which is why to play less than ideal players. I'm going to need every point. Fortunately, I have McBride, Higgins, and Puka. I mean, I think you're probably feeling pretty good there if you had those three. I'd be surprised if you weren't projected to win. So I might take the upside. I might go with the Raiders in that shit. What? Maybe just take the 4. Maybe just roll with the Eagles. Like, you've got what? You got almost 100 points between these 3 players. Jay Silva likes your hat.
Oh, nice.
What hat is that?
It's a Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup Champions hat.
Oh, Willie also liked that hat. So, good hat choice tonight, Pete.
I know, good hat choice. Too bad we suck now. We don't suck. We're just not good.
It's okay.
I'm still trying to find out this Seahawks clinching scenario. They say it exists, but I'm struggling to find it. I'm really struggling.
Tommy, send us the link.
I mean, I see it. It says it's there, but it doesn't give me a clinching scenario for next week for the Seahawks. So we need to have less than 3 wins between the Bills, Vikings, Browns, Bengals, and that's it. So the Bengals already won. So they just need 2 wins out of the Bills, Vikings, and Browns, I think, and the Commanders.
They could be eliminated after tomorrow's games. Okay. Yeah, I think it's over.
It's strength of victory, and they are in a really bad spot for strength of victory. They're here we go. Okay. Yeah. The Rams have a 444 strength of victory. Seattle has a 393 strength of victory. It's pretty bad.
I think the Seahawks are going to go to the Super Bowl, if you're asking me. Sam's rolling with the Colts. I'm all for it. Captain Joe King, Spears are neighbors in the finals because you guys. Congrats. I think Neighbors is the floor. Spears is the upside play. I still think Neighbors going to be good, but man, if Spears has a bad week, we're going to lose. Like, I can't be the only person aggressively recommending Spears, but it's just all there for him to have a good game. But Neighbors is solid. Very good floor, I think, for Neighbors this week. Took out Henry for Chig. Thanks for helping me avoid the landmines. 100%. Congrats. Good move. It's a 2-week championship. Okay. An awesome week this week doesn't mean anything if they suck next week. Yeah, that's the thing about week 18, especially if you're doing a 2-week championship. Like, your roster, like, you could end up dropping 6 players this week because they're not going to play next week. Yeah, I hate week 18. Don't play in week 18. Talk to your commissioner for next year. It's just not fair. Like, if you make it all the way through week 17, and then Josh Allen's not playing next week, and
and Mahomes isn't playing, or
it's like there are gonna be a bunch of players who don't play next week, and I mean, a lot of players didn't play this week, but they actually had injuries. But this was a messy week 17.
Especially since it was so late in the week, we had guys dropping out. Like,
and then
you had
you had less options because more games had already been played. It was like, it's a tough week. Vance Joseph needs to go. He's a bum. Only reason he wasn't fired last season is because he is Sean Payton's personal friend.
Hey man, he's not the one who didn't get a first down.
Broncos defense has kind of fallen off, but they're
we knew
pretty dang good to start the year.
They haven't played it. They didn't play anybody. We knew this. Their bad games are against good offenses, kind of like the Chargers.
Yeah. But yeah, Vance Joseph is quite up
The
and down.
the Broncos needed 10 yards to win the game. They just needed a tie. They couldn't get 10 yards after a shanked field goal.
It's not Bo Nix's fault though. Everyone
It
else
is. He ugly.
pick up Bo Nix because that'll be a playoff game next week. That could be true. But I don't know if Bo Nix can be available. Who do they play next week?
The practice squad Chiefs.
Practice squad Chiefs. Yeah, they basically get a free win. Any suggestions for what quarterback should stream next week? Stroud, Tua, May, Richardson, Russ, or Bryce Young? Well, the Dolphins are apparently giving up on their season. So do they not have the schedule set at all next week?
No. There's going to be games Saturday and Sunday. And because they have to match up, you can't play teams at different times if they're going for the same spot. So, like,
that's so weird.
So for sure, we're going to see the Broncos, Colts, Dolphins at the same time. If the Colts and the Dolphins win this weekend, we could see the Bengals Steelers on like Saturday again, because that game doesn't matter. Like Cincinnati just has, like, they're last in the tiebreaker stream. So it's like, if the Bengals lose, it doesn't mean anything to any of those teams. And if they win, it doesn't mean anything to those teams. They still have to win. So it's that, like, Rams, Seahawks. If the Commanders, there's no wild card. It's all for wild card implications, and there's no wild card spots left.
No Thursday game, no Monday game either. Huh.
Monday game for the playoffs, though.
I guess that makes sense. Well, I will say if the Colts win tomorrow, which is technically today, and Richardson's healthy in week 18, I would play Richardson against the Jags. But I feel less inclined if the Colts are out of the playoff hunt. But Richardson's probably, like, honestly, looking at these options, it's probably Richardson. Although Bryce Young, I guess, is still an option against the Falcons. It's probably Young for the floor, Richardson for upside. Right about the Broncos, but 3 of the past weeks for defense allowed. Yeah, they've been bad. They've been bad. No shot Josh Allen plays. Yeah.
Carson.
Not
next week.
Not next week. Slatton, things were looking rough for me with A-Chain missing, Tua, no CD, but Burrow clutched up. Do y'all think the Bengals winning that Tua will man up and play with the Bengals winning? He's doubtful. So I don't think he'll play, but there's a shot, I guess, technically. We talked about it tonight. Would you play Neighbors or McMillan? They're kind of close for me this week. I think I lean McMillan. McMillan for the upside, Neighbors for the floor. More competitive game script for McMillan. Better matchup for Neighbors. Do y'all think Pittman will be decent?
No. I can't trust him.
I can't trust him. Yeah, can't trust him.
One of the all-time busts this year.
Yeah, it's the championship. Unless you're desperate, don't do it. I mean, yeah, he could be okay. Sure. I'm not trusting it, though. All right, guys, that should do it for tonight. It is late, so we're going to wrap up. But a great stream tonight, just under 2 hours. But thank you guys so much for all the fantasy questions. I'm going to somehow get a video out for you guys to watch in the morning or however late you stay up. And that'll be a wrap on championship week and on the season. We're going to do some stuff for week 18 for you weirdos who play in week 18. And then we're going to be hopping into some underdog content through the real NFL playoffs as well as dynasty content. And we'll just keep rolling into the 2025 season. So thank you guys so much for all the support throughout the entirety of the season, and good luck to each and every one of you. Hope you guys bring home a chip And we are certainly rooting for you guys and crossing our fingers. Thank you guys for asking fantasy questions tonight. Pete, I'll let you say bye and we'll get out of here.
Yep, guys. Good stream. This is it. What best of luck to everybody who's not playing me this week. If you're playing me, I hope you lose horribly. But it's not looking good, most of them out there. But yeah, we'll be here. Still one more week to go, I guess, technically. But we'll have content for you guys. You know us. So just be ready. Be out there. Great season, guys. It's been an absolute blast. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Love you guys.
All right, boys and girls. Like I said, video out in the morning, and see you guys in week 18 if you play in week 18. If not, thank you guys for a great season, and that'll do it. So with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch, and peace.